Alright, let's try this again. Hello everyone, welcome to a new video. Today we're going to be doing part 1 to what if Deku was a Hollow King. I don't know where the king came from, honestly. I just thought it would sound cool. And it kind of does, honestly. But yeah, so you're wondering, what do you mean Hollow King? Well, quite simple actually. Yeah. Basically, so you know how there's tiers of hollows? You know, it goes, weak hollows, then, average hollows, strong hollows, menos grande, literally what they're called, but I think I totally butchered the name. And then there's the Vastalordes, and then the Arancars, or wait, is it Arancars, then Vastalordes? I forget. And then there's the Hollow King. Well, Midoriya's power, is the Hollow King. Not his quirk isn't the Hollow King, okay? Let me specify that. No, that's not his quirk. His power, or his soul, essentially, is the Hollow King's. That's probably really confusing. Okay, let me try this. Basically, Midoriya has a very powerful ability. That he hasn't unlocked yet because he hasn't been in a very dire situation. Where did those go? Someone stole my toothbrush and my toothpaste. I am about to smack somebody. Sorry. 1 second. Anyway, sorry about that. Yeah. So, when Midoriya was born, his quirk was very apparent. See, he has a quite good regeneration quirk. That's why his hollow side never woke up. Well, technically it is awake. It's just, not awake. Its power hasn't been released yet. So, everything according to canon, pretty much, just give Midoriya a hyper regeneration quirk to where, he punches using one for all, his arms pretty much heal, almost. It takes him like 2-3 minutes to fully heal from a totally shattered arm. So, yeah. Let's go to the USJ. And I'm gonna take a guess here and say, how, his healing quirk would work. Because, well, quite simply, it's freaking, the more catastrophic damage, the longer it takes to heal. It's quite simple, really. Now, getting into the what if. When Midoriya, is at the USJ, he's fighting the Nomu, this, that, the other thing. Well, he's not fighting the Nomu. He goes to throw a punch at the Nomu. We all can guess what happens, the Nomu, well, I'm changing it a little bit. See, the Nomu grabs the punch, and then slams his fist straight into Izuku's chest. Now, the Nomu put a lot more strength behind it than Shigaraki told it to. I was like, keep the kid alive. We need hostages to get All Might to show up faster. But, the Nomu, for some reason, it decided to kill Midoriya. It's totally not because it can sense the power of the Hollow. And it was a moron. and totally not because of plot convenience. But yeah, slams straight through his chest. You know, now there's a Nomu-sized hole in Izuku's chest. Well, Nomu fist-sized hole. So everyone looks on in horror as Mina screams, "Midoriya!" You know, as she's being attacked by villains. And, you know, the students had a little bit more combat training, so they were helping Aizawa. So as she screams that, she gets attacked by a villain, pinned down. This is where a bit of, well, I guess you could say a trigger warning or an 18+ warning would come in. Now, nothing bad is in the sense of, you know, the nasty is going to happen, but extreme violence is going to occur here in a few seconds. So, again, trigger warning, continue at your own risk. Now, a villain pins her down, you know, and is like, my. I guess I'm gonna, again, trigger warning right now. Like, don't say I didn't warn you. I swear to God, if this video gets removed because someone said, he didn't tell us that this was going to happen, I swear I'm going to ban you from the channel. I will find a way to do it. I don't know how, but I will find a way. Anyway, so, you know, the villain says, I guess I can have some fun with you. You know, and Midoriya, you know, even though he's kind of like dead, he hears and he sees what's going on. He's like, no, come on, move, come on, body, gotta save her, gotta help, come on, move, get up. As a giant green and red energy explosion occurs. Yes, death has begun. Again, I apologize. I gave y'all fair warning. Okay, it's about to get extremely violent, so another fair warning. Like, it's about to get really gory, so continue at your own risk. You know, everyone here is, you know, what I just did, pretty much, like bones cracking. Cracking. As they see this white substance start leaking out of Midoriya's eyes, nose, mouth, and the hole where his heart originally was, or his entire chest cavity, pretty much. Jeez. You know, as Midoriya has his body starts getting covered in this white substance as the hole closes, not completely, but to be the exact size of his heart. Just a clear hole through his chest where his heart used to be. And then they hear, you know, they hear heartbeat. Like, you know what I mean. I can't think of a really good way to make the noise, but, you know. Then they see, you know, his eyes shoot open. Well, they were already open. Never mind. They see his green pupils turn a very bright, like almost glowing orange, with his sclera, or the white part of his eyes, turning black. As they just hear a monstrous noise. As red and black energy explodes off of Midoriya. Now, this white stuff that was leaking out of him is starting to, you know, shoot outwards, spiking a little bit, wrapping around Midoriya. As, you know, the Nomu, scared, well, it already ripped its hand out, you know, from the feeling that something bad was about to go down. You know, all of the villains, all of the heroes, well, not all of the heroes, yeah, Aizawa and 13, you know, Class 1A, the villains, you know, they're all like, what the heck is that? Or was that, if they weren't an immediate eye shot. As the energy explodes outward even more, basically creating a fireball, well, an energy fireball, that would make Endeavor's Prominence Burn look like a ember in comparison. As the energy, it starts shrinking, as it reveals what used to be Midoriya. He kind of looks like, okay, I'm going to describe him to you. Basically, he looks like Ichigo in his Vasto Lorde form. But instead of having extremely long hair, he only has the green, fur, whatever you want to call it, on his collarbone, his wrists. His claws are sharper. He's got 3 spikes protruding, not like spikes, but like, you know what I mean, like Batman glove spikes coming out of the side of each of his arms. Like little knife blades. He has talons on, basically his fingernails are talons, and so are his feet. He has a whole tail, like a whole dragon, not dragon, but like a demon tail. 3 sets of dragon wings, because, why not make him terrifying? As the energy's finishing subsiding, now, Midoriya's helmet, or whatever you want to call it, it has, his hair is, what's the best way to do this? Basically, he has, the 2 horns that shoot out of the sides of the helmet forward, but instead it's like a spiral pattern on each one. And then he has 2 little horns, not really little, but, pretty decent sized horns coming out the sides of his head going upward. And his his now red hair, you can still kind of see it somehow. Never mind, you just can't see his hair, And his eye, you can't see his eyes, like, at all. And he has jagged, like, I'm talking razor sharp, like, you touch those things, and your entire body gets torn to shreds. I don't know how it's possible, just roll with it. Anyway. As he opens his mouth and scream. He has 3 rows of teeth. As a giant, I'm talking Oh, also, when he's in this form, he is a lot bigger. Actually, not a lot bigger. Hold on, I need to do something right quick. Okay, so Midoriya, after this transformation, will now permanently be 5'11". Actually, he'll be my height. Jeez. I never realized I was taller. Anyway, yeah, I know. I'm magic. Yeah. He then gets, crap. Can't think of a cool sword name. Heard on. As you just see Midoriya, what was Midoriya will say. Which, if you don't know, means World Eater. I know, very original, but come on! It sounds cool. Let's cut me some slack. Man looks like a giant monster. Also, when he's in hollow form, he is around 7, 8 feet tall. Around that area. 7'5", 7'9". Somewhere around there. He gets pretty big. But once he goes out of that form, he's going to be 5'11". Almost 6 feet. So, this giant blade, not really giant, like, Ichigo's Zangetsu in its Shikai form? Yeah, basically that's what it is. But, there's a constant stream of, like, black energy. Well, not black, but, there's a constant stream of energy around it. Black and red energy. A thin black and red energy around it. And he's holding this thing up one-handed, as he gets lower to the ground. His talons digging into the ground as he raises up the sword. As you just hear him howl, and then he vanishes. Just. And where he was just turns to smoke. Not really, but, it shatters underneath the force. As the villain that was originally on top of Mina is now a puddle. Well, a few feet away from Mina is now a puddle. Mina looks around and she sees Midoriya, holding the guy's head. Feasting. Now, this is where the 18+ warning comes in. Be prepared for gore. Eating his intestines while somehow also cackling menacingly. Staring dead into this guy's eyes, who, by the power of whatever Midoriya has become, whatever I have created, is keeping him alive so he can watch, as then he just crushes his head and then spits it out. His intestines. Ew. But, as he starts, walking. He's walking, and every time a villain would try to run. Now, I also may or may not have forgot to mention, but each one of his little, not little, but, each one of his wings has, like, how Aizen had the little mouths on the bending bit of the wings? Yeah, he has one of those on each one of his wings, and that equals out to 6. Every time a villain would try to run, they'd get blasted. Just eviscerated. Nothing would be left. Just a skeleton. Well, a charred skeleton. There'd be no flesh. As you see this dark presence cover the mask's face, as it just... cackling uncontrollably. Everyone is shook. Like, all the villains, all the low-level villains collapsed. They're knocked out. They're dead. And some of them had a heart attack. Some of them threw up. And, Midoriya, he's running now. He disappears again. He's cutting villains in half. Ripping them limb from limb with one arm. Jumping on their shoulders. Digging his talons in while slowly ripping off their heads. Spine and ribs and all. Like, this man is going on a rampage, mask on his face. I'm sorry, I had to. It was a reference. As Shigaraki's like, no, kill that thing! As Midoriya looks at the Nomu, and now, you can't really tell. There's no way possible you could tell if Midoriya was smiling or not, but everyone could just feel that he was grinning ear from ear. Which It's just terrifying. You know, as you could then see his pupils, you know, the glow of his pupils for a second. As I'm gonna say there was some, like, weird puffs of, like, red and black energy. Now, the red is gone. It's green. Okay. It's occasionally... It's like red... It's green energy surrounding black energy. But you can see the black energy inside. You can just... It's like an... You know what I mean. You know, and occasionally you'll see flashes of, like, white inside of the puffs of black and green energy. You know, everyone at this point was just terrified. You know, the pro heroes that came, you know, they're seeing all this. You know, All Might's like, what did I create? What is this creature? You know, as Midoriya slams his right foot into the ground, as the Nomu, you know, you can visibly see it get scared. As Midoriya charges to it, you know, as he starts slashing at it. Now remember, this is only his Shikai. Basically, only stage 2. And, boy, do I have something in store for the Bankai. Well, he has 2 Shikai. And technically 2 Bankai, then. See, he's not really using a Shikai, that's just his natural Zanpakuto, but it looks like a Shikai if you were a Shinigami. So, yeah. Now, he's gonna say you know, as he noticed the Nomu had shock absorption and resistance, you know, did the one thing that made sense. The one thing! Now, he's gonna have 2 different sets of abilities. Well, Shikai and Bankai, pretty much. He's going to have his Shinigami form, which he can use pretty much at any time because the sword is gonna, you know, shrink back into like a normal katana, and he's gonna get a sheath that just appears, and the sword will just fly into it. Magic. When he activates his Shikai in human form, it's basically Zangetsu, and then, you know, Zangetsu's Bankai, or Ichigo's Bankai. When he's in hollow mode, the Shikai for his human form is his normal for his monster mode, which means technically he hasn't activated a Shikai yet. Oh boy, this is about to get scary. You know. Now, forget about the part where I said he said Sekai Ita. Now he says Sekai Ita. I'm so sorry. My voice impressions are horrible, but I'm trying to do my best here. You know, as the sword gets engulfed in the black and green energy, starting to just freak out. Like, I'm not even kidding. The sword itself starts morphing. What I mean by this? Basically, it's... boy. It shoots outward, basically turning into a shark sword. Yes, you heard me right. A shark sword. That's not terrifying at all. No, just seeing a giant metal, well, not actually a giant metal shark, but basically a shark blade charging at you, about to eat you. No, that's not terrifying at all. You know I'm lying. Basically, how am I going to describe this? You know that one sword from Naruto, where only that one shark dude could wield it until Killer Bee came along and just yoinked it? And it has a bunch of spikes on the outside, and it has a giant mouth at the end. Basically, I don't remember the name, I'm sorry. I've seen Naruto, it's just been a really long time. basically, that's what his sword currently looks like. You know, it's got the spikes, and well, not really the spike. It doesn't look identical, okay? It has the spikes, but it still looks like a sword. And the blade is the mouth, okay? It's got the spikes, and on the blade is where, like, the teeth are, but, you know, they can close to make it like an actual sword, or open to, like, no. Yeah, that's the best way you're gonna get a description out of me for that. Just picture it in your head, okay? Just try, please. As, you know, Midoriya starts charging at the Nomu, as he slices downward, the teeth on the blade open up and just bite the Nomu's head off as it turns back into a blade and cuts the Nomu in half. As all of the little heads, including Midoriya's, you know, all the mouths open up. Now, each one of the little heads on the, not tips, but on the, like, corners, I guess you could call them that, of his wings open up, creating, like, a black and green orb. As Midoriya does one in between his horns, one at the first row, second row, and third rows of his teeth. This is about to be a big boom. Zero annihilation. You know, he basically screams, Zero annihilation! As you just hear. And there goes the Nomu. Dust. Literally. As then Midoriya, you know, he stabs the sword into the ground as it, you know, upchucks the Nomu's head, and then he eats the Nomu's head. As he looks back at Shigaraki, pulling the sword out of the ground and dragging its edge along the ground. You know, you could hear a grumbling noise, and the sword start to shake. As, you know, Courier is like, nope, don't want to die. Come on, we're leaving. As Midoriya, you know, he howls one last time to signify his victory, which is plain for all to see because it's a bloodbath. Literally. Oh, boy. Yeah, I need to put 18 plus in the thing of this video because the gore. Anyway, so Midoriya, you know, the mask cracks, you know, on the eye. It just randomly cracks. The howling immediately stops. You know, it becomes dead silent. Everyone's looking at Midoriya. You know, as the left arm starts cracking a whole bunch as it slowly reaches for, you know, one of the horns. You know, the front-facing horn, and breaks it off. As then the entire mask starts to shatter and Midoriya passes out, you know, hits the floor hard. As, you know, the sword, you know, just de-transforms, turns back into like a normal big Zanpakuto. You know, like Ichigo's before he activates his Shikai, and it just sheaths itself on Izuku's back, you know, near Izuku. You know, he's knocked out. He ain't getting up for a little while. You know, time skip, everyone's okay. You know, Midoriya gets brought to the hospital, and I guess that's where I can leave this part off. I have to go use the restroom anyway, so, convenient. Anyway, that's going to be all for this time, guys. I hope you did enjoy. Also, again, I do apologize, but I did give you all fair warning before I said any of the nasty or gory stuff. So, I hope this video doesn't get taken down. I don't really think I did all that bad, but please don't. Just come on, man. Anyway, again, that's going to be all for this time, guys. I do hope you enjoy, and, oh, by the way, that's the part I was talking about right there, and on his wrist over there, that's green. Yeah. Anyway, that's gonna be it for this time, guys. I hope you did enjoy, and I'm gonna wait till it's exactly at 30 minutes, because I want to. So how was y'all day? Good? Oh, okay, bye.